What invention is so good that it actually can't be improved upon? I've heard the pin setter machine in bowling alleys has never had a redesign. It was perfect already. P-trap. A simple elegant way to prevent odor from coming into your house via sink, toilet, etc. A lot of Asia still doesn't use this. Trust me, it makes a huge difference. We apparently have a bend in our plumbing near our septic tank that every few years gets clogged, and then I hear the sinks gurgle, and that's when I know to close all the bathroom doors and call a plumber, because the smell is horrific. I can't imagine if that's just how it smelled every time the sink ran or a toilet flushed. We share a septic tank with our neighbor. I know when there's a blockage, because the sink in our kennels doesn't drain away. I know the pipe work off by heart now that I've had to unclog it several times. The septic tank has been cracked open a few times. Believe it or not, the smell is not as bad as you'd imagine. There's a hard crust of God knows what on top that traps the fresh sewage underneath. The oddest thing I saw was some sort of albino worm-like creature swimming in the sewage. It was a big fat thing. Gross. What are the odds one of y'all shat it out? And good morning. I've reached my internet tolerance for the day. A mirror is as good as it gets for its usage. The XLR cable. Until they can beam something directly into your head, we kind of hit a dead end for perceived sound. The simplicity of what a cable can do by allowing both AC and DC power to flow through so you can power and draw signal from a microphone. Plus the fact it's so simple to remove the noise you get from outside interference makes it even more genius. Phantom power. Spooky. I am always glad to see XLR and 5-pin DMX on the forever it list. Just works, works and works and works and works and works. Such optimized systems. Paperclip. Last major patent was in the 1880s. On a similar note, the binder clip. Those little frikers are the source of many life hacks. That's a funny name for a potato chip bag clip. Those bones they use for tanning leather. People have tried using all sorts of different materials, but bone always works best apparently. Yeah, if I remember it correctly from my college classes, those weren't created by humans. Like, what? It was a tool created by Homo erectus I believe, but it does predate anatomically modern humans. Homo erectus boning. I'm just not mature enough for this conversation. I'm sorry. I remember reading about archaeologists wondering what these particular bone tools were used for, and it was a mystery for years, maybe decades, not sure. And one happened to mention it to a friend who was a tanner who took one look, told them what it was, and grabbed an almost identical one, still bone, out of their tanning toolbox for comparison. Costa and Skillet Estate. 1707. Rapunzel has entered the chat. Who knew? The brick. It has been made of mud, then mud with straw, then mud with clay, then finally with clay alone. That is as far as progress has taken the brick in the, guess, 8,000 years since it was invented, and it is still in use today. Someone, lost in the obscurity of ancient history, realized that you couldn't build really strong stone structures with irregularly shaped small natural stones, and hewing huge lumps of stone into regular shapes was just ridiculously hard work. That person also observed that mud that fell into a fire was left hardened when the fire died down. So they figured that if you shaped mud into regular shapes, big enough to carry one in each hand, you would have all the advantages of small irregular stones and large geometrically carved stones, but with none of the drawbacks of either. This thought must have taken a second to dawn on the inventor. The practical work to prove the concept must have taken a weekend, at most. Perhaps a week or two to get the shape just right. And here we are, thousands of years later, and the damn thing has barely changed at all. The hollow concrete block is a major improvement. It's way more widely used around the world. Pizza. You can change it up, you can ruin it, and you can fold it half like a crazy calzone munching madman, but you can't beat perfection. The calzones betrayed me. It's about the cones. I'd say nail clippers. Rich and poor people all use the same thing to clip their nails. Rich people pay poor people to clip their nails for them. And those pool bastards use the same nail clipper the other pool bastards use. Zipper. Best way to merge in traffic. Yes. It's meant to be a zipper you and $%. Learn to drive. Perhaps 2, maybe 3 times in my life, it has been my privilege to participate in a perfect multi-car zipper merge. Cars enter the highway. Both lanes look at each other and align. Then all at once, the cars on the right merge smoothly left, and exiting cars merge smoothly right. It was beautiful. Rubber bands. They work. When I was a kid, rubber bands would last 4 years. Now most of them fail within a year or so. Because they removed the cocaine. I knew they smelled different. I don't do cocaine. I just like smelling it. The premium rubber caused wars and mass genocide. I'm fine with cheap rubber that doesn't cause those side effects. The pocket. Girls' pants have entered the chat. Seriously, don't know why you guys are denied the convenience of pockets so often. Pocket real estate is a critical decision in my pants buying. If I get a pair of pants with less than 3 pockets, it's absolutely infuriating. 4. Fake pockets or shallow pockets that even a chapstick digs into your guts if you sit and is obviously outlined when standing. I have a theory that this is, in part, why high-waisted mom jeans have been in style for a while now. Cell phones now are teeny tiny supercomputers, but they are huge as phones. They are also now integral in our personal and professional lives. We need real pockets. I want to be able to fit something more than most of my 4 fingers. That's what she said. Literally. I need it. Most professional classical music instruments are already in their final stage like piano and violin. The basic sewing needle. It really hasn't changed in thousands of years. There is no need for change. I'd argue that sewing machines are just advanced sewing needles. I still can't figure out how they work. I've seen animations and videos of the mechanics, but my brain refuses to process it and it looks so simple. Almost too simple. The spoon is a pretty incredible invention. It can often sub as a fork or a knife, and it has a great name. Those special self-stabilizing spoons to help people with hand tremors feed themselves are pretty cool. Over-engineered for most people, but I'm happy they exist. I should make a self-stabilizing soldering iron. I have a moderate tremor and I can do most things, but I can't fricking solder. And I'm an electrical engineer. But how do you make one without soldering? Serious reply to a great question. You try a frustrating number of times. It's usually easier to clean up a botched solder than to get it right in one go. You get one of those spoon stabilizing things and force it around a doddering iron till you can make one of your own. That mini trident you use to scratch your back, man, that's the best invention of human race. I don't know, man, the lightsaber under my mom's bed was really nice when I used it as a back massager. A knife. It can do anything. Soup? Poop? I wonder how many new redditors have no idea about poop knife. Here we go again. At least once a month. The soda can. The physics behind it have been perfected. There is a cool YouTube video about it. The steam turbine. It is such a useful way to convert heat into electricity that it would not be surprising to see one strapped to a fusion reactor, if one ever get built. They're already strapped to fission reactors. That's pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, the steam turbine inventor was way ahead of his time. He really was a visionary. Plates. You can get the ones that don't smash. It's too good. Zooples. Holy it, I haven't thought about those things in years. You've just awoken some long forgotten memories. Zooples make eating fun. Windshield wipers. My engineering professor always lectured us on how perfect the design is and how our new changes made are strictly aesthetic and don't work any better. Until they invent one that cleans the whole window, instead of just parts of it. Easy fix. Make the windshield in the shape that the wipers wipe. I was going to say a shovel, but it looks like people have already said spoons. What is a spoon, but a very small shovel? What is a shovel, but a very large spoon? Are you asking if there's an invention that does its job so well that nothing else can do the same job better? Like how a light bulb can give off more light than a candle, but so far we haven't produced anything that emits light better than LEDs? Question mark. Or are you asking if there's an invention that perfectly solves a specific problem? Like if you want to keep dry while walking in the rain, your best choice is an umbrella? Things that come to mind are FM radio. It is about as efficient as it's going to get. The pencil and pencil sharpener. I don't really see how they can improve them. The match and lighter. The umbrella. The hammer. The bucket. The TV. Remote. The fishing pole. The hinge. The spring.